Honourable members of the European Parliament, deputies, mayors, generals, ladies and gentlemen, if anything has become clear in the past 2 years, it is that we need not just a European, but also a global approach on migration. The question is not how migration can be stopped, but how it can be better managed in a coordinated manner. Our ability to respond to it as a union will define the continent, our union altogether. The refugee crisis taught us that purely national measures are not enough. They are not enough neither for any single member state nor for the European Union as a whole. More Europe is needed to protect the European Union's external borders, ensure a comprehensive, future-proof and fair asylum system that offers protection for those in genuine need, dismantle and prosecute the smugglers' networks, step up our capacity to return those who have no right to stay in the European Union, increase legal avenues to Europe. But more Europe does not mean taking away competencies from member states, as some might fear. More Europe means a better and joint management of what is a shared challenge. More Europe means more solidarity and responsibility sharing. That is the fundamental purpose of the reform of the common European asylum system. Despite several attempts in the past, there are still significant differences between the national asylum systems. It is precisely these divergences that contribute to secondary movements and asylum shopping, ultimately leading to an uneven distribution of responsibility among member states. This is why we need a harmonized, robust and fair asylum system. A system based on solidarity and fair sharing of responsibilities, where no country is left to handle such challenges on its own, but also a system which is crisis resistant. If we want to close the gaps, we have to bring the national asylum systems closer together in an ambitious way, respecting European standards and values. Mutual trust is necessary not only for the efficiency of the system, but also to guarantee equal and dignified treatment of asylum applicants across the Union. But the success of this reform depends ultimately on solidarity. Geography cannot be an indicator for responsibility. Dublin, as we know it, as it exists, has proven that it cannot stand the test of time and evolution. We need a new, more equitable Dublin, where the redistribution of responsibility is inherent to the system. And the need for a better Dublin goes beyond Dublin. If we want to continue benefiting from a Europe without internal borders, we need a predictable and efficient Dublin system. Discussions are ongoing among member states. I count on the support of the European Parliament to set up an efficient and genuine solidarity mechanism. For this, we need the commitment of all member states, which must be translated into clear and binding legal rules. Our aim is also to discourage uncontrolled irregular movements and to provide orderly and safe pathways to the European Union. This is why we are also proposing to have a Union framework on resettlement, which will establish a common approach to safe and legal avenues to the European Union for persons in need of international protection. We also need strong external borders in order to preserve the freedom of movement of the European Union citizens across the Schengen area. Last week, as you all know, we celebrated 32 years of Schengen. We must do everything to safeguard one of the greatest achievements of the European integration. I'm happy, therefore, that also thanks to the European Parliament's support, we now have systematic checks against relevant databases for all persons crossing the external borders of the Union. Together with the progress made in rolling out the European Borders and Coast Guard, the security of our external borders has been enhanced. With over 1,600 officers supporting national forces in frontline member states, the European Union's external borders are better protected than ever before. The external and the internal dimensions of migration management are intrinsically linked. This is why we have stepped up our engagement with key third countries to address the root causes of migration, to improve conditions in countries of origin and transit, to fight smugglers, to improve returns, and to enhance legal pathways. We do not want a fortress Europe. We want Europe to remain open and tolerant and secure. This means that we have to also better regulate orderly migration and mobility, not just for those who need protection. Our proposed reform of the Blue Card is part of this endeavour. We want to make it easier to attract skilled migrants because we will need them. On the other hand, of course, we need to tackle irregular migration and improve returns of those who have no right to stay. The new mandate of the European Borders and Coast Guard will help in the field of return, but Member States should also better apply the existing rules. Finally, I want to close on the question of integration, because ultimately, all what we discuss here is about the cohesion of our societies for the future. It's about how we live together. And we know that European societies are becoming increasingly diverse. We have to learn from the past. We have no time to waste, not just from a social, but also from an economic perspective. Only a successful integration of all migrants in the European Union will allow turning migration into an opportunity, both for them and for our European society and economy. In a true spirit of solidarity, it is up to all of us to turn migration into a European success story, because this is about the future of Europe as a whole. Thank you very much for your attention.